Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
Australia's Big Four banks loaned more than 3.6 billion Australian dollars to fossil fuel projects and companies in 2023 at odds with the government's net zero targets, according to research by Friends of the Earth. Analysis by Market Forces, a part of the Green Group Friends of the Earth, found ANZ, NAB, Commonwealth Bank of Australia and Westpac loaned a combined total of $3.6 billion to fossil fuel-reliant energy projects in 2023. That was half the level of financial support that existed in 2022. Market Forces Bank's analyst and report author Kyle Robertson said it was important the big banks understood its customers didn't appreciate greenwashing. Customers are very concerned that big banks are pouring billions of dollars into companies expanding coal, oil, and gas when we must accelerate efforts to limit climate change and deadly disasters, Mr. Robertson said. The Big Four banks are engaged in a monumental facade as long as they continue undermining a safe climate by funneling billions to companies steaming ahead with more coal, oil, and gas. When will the banks live up to their climate commitments, follow the science, and stop funding climate collapse? Australia's Big Four banks have loaned more than 3.6 billion Australian dollars to fossil fuel projects and companies in 2023, Stock Image. The new research found 2023 was the first year the Big Four Australian banks did not directly finance a new or expanded coal, Stock Image. The new research found 2023 was the first year the Big Four Australian banks did not directly finance a new or expanded coal, oil or gas project since the Paris Agreement on carbon dioxide emissions was signed. ANZ takes the cake as the biggest funder of fossil fuels, pouring more than $20 million into coal, oil, and gas since Australia adopted the Paris Agreement to limit climate change, he said. How the Big Four banks compare. ANZ. The report found ANZ loaned nearly $1 billion to companies developing new coal, oil, and gas in 2023. It has now loaned more than $20 billion to the fossil fuel industry, making it Australia's biggest funder of fossil fuels since the Paris Agreement. An ANZ spokeswoman told Newswire it is committed to doing its part to transition the country to net zero. While we have significant questions about the methodology of the report, we are not surprised to be mentioned given we are the largest domestic lender to Australia's energy sector, she said. It's important to remember this is the most carbon-intensive part of our economy, and financing its transition to net zero will require significant capital. It's important also to note that our financed emissions included in our emissions reduction pathways for the power generation, oil and gas and thermal coal sectors have reduced by 25%, 30% and 96% respectively, between 2020 and 2023. In line with our target, we will have largely exited all thermal coal miners by 2030, with remaining direct exposure largely due to mining rehabilitation bonds which will continue to be provided to existing customers to ensure their responsibilities with exiting mine sites are fulfilled. NAB. The analysis found NAB was the biggest Australian fossil fuel lender in 2023, loaning $1.4 billion to fossil fuels in total. The funding also included $860 million to companies with coal, oil, and gas expansion plans. Westpac. Westpac loaned $784 million to fossil fuels companies in 2023, making it the third biggest lender. Those loans included $533 million to companies expanding fossil fuels in 2023, including oil and gas giants JERA and APA Group, according to the report. However, a Westpac spokesman told Newswire 84% of the major banks lending to the electricity generation sector is for renewables. We are the largest financier of greenfield renewable projects in Australia over the last 5 years to September 2023, he said. Commonwealth Bank ranked fourth, having loaned $271 million to fossil fuel companies, Stock Image. We disclose our total exposure to industries in the fossil fuel energy value chain in our FY23 climate report. That shows approximately a 7% decline in our exposure over the year to September 2023. The spokesman said the bank was committed to meeting emissions targets, after more than 90% of Westpac's shareholders endorsed the climate change position statement and action plan at the 2023 AGM. West.